Hi there, my name is Natalie Ledwell from Mind Movies, and I want to welcome you to the blog today. We're doing a video blog, and for those American friends of mine and those who are in our community that are from the US, I want to wish you a very happy 4th of July. Very happy Independence Day. I don't know what you have organized today for today, but I hope that whatever it is that you're surrounded by people that love you, and that you have an amazing time. I actually have one of my sisters and one of my nieces visiting from Australia. So we will be watching the fireworks in San Diego with some of our team members from Mind Movies, and really having an amazing day and having that celebration. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to, on the video blog today, talk about freedom and success. And when I talk about freedom, what I'm talking about is freedom from the chains and the things that are holding us back from creating the life that we really want to live. So I have 4 tips that I want to share with you today to do that. You know, and I was just reading an article not long ago that we have 70,000 thoughts per day, give or take a few. So, you know, how are you using those 70,000 thoughts? Are they thoughts that are helping to build you up? Are they empowering? Are they the types of thoughts that are really helping to open you up to joy and gratitude and to really live a fulfilling and amazing life? Or are you using a lot of those thoughts, judging others, beating yourself up, and coming up with all the reasons and justifications as to why you can't live the life that you want? So today, let me go through these 4 tips that are going to help you to hopefully shift your perspective from where you are now, if you're looking at a life that you're not particularly happy with, so we can move it just a little bit and be able to change the trajectory that you're on right now, so we can create something even more amazing for you. Okay, so the tip number 1 is fearing the future. How we want to eliminate fearing the future. This is really interesting, how a lot of people are fearful of, you know, change. They're fearful of the unknown. They're fearful of not knowing how things are going to turn out. You know, I remember before I watched The Secret and before I understood what the law of attraction was, if I didn't see how it was going to unfold, I assumed that it wouldn't. And so I only ever set myself goals that were quite small, that were easy to attain, because I could see how I could physically and consciously do that. But of course, now that I understand how the universe works, and I understand, you know, how that when I focus on what it is that I do want, you know, and I see that playing in my mind, and I feel the emotions of already being there, and then I'm taking action in that direction, how I can influence outcomes to bring that to me. And when we have a fear of the future, what we're doing is actually creating that future, whether we realize it or not. You know, the law of attraction is a universal law that is consistently working all of the time. So if we're focusing on all the things that are going wrong, if we're focusing on, you know, focusing on the past that we think is going to then be able to create the future, because we've never been able to create this event or this result for us in the past. So of course, it must be what's going to perpetuate in the future. All we're doing is staying in the past. And we have this fear of the future because that's what we're focusing on, is the past. So, you know, when we can change that movie or change that picture to something that is really expanding, is exactly what we do want, then what that does is helps to create that future for us. You know, it helps to make it easier for us to do that. You know, when I created a Mind movie earlier this year on health and fitness, you know, since creating that Mind movie, which was only a few short months ago, I've lost 12 pounds. So how does that work? Well, it's because, you know, when I'm focusing specifically and playing this movie in my mind of the health that I want and the body that I want and the fitness and the energy, then when it comes to the bazillion things that come up during a day that is in relation to my health, like what I'm having for breakfast, you know, what exercise I'm doing, it gives me the motivation to always make the right choice that is in alignment to the result that I want to create. Okay, so fearing the future is just perpetuating the past. So make sure that when you're thinking of your future, really think about what it is that you do want. You know, this is why my movie is so powerful. So focus on that. The second one is to balance emotion with logic. Okay, now this is an interesting one, because for me, I find that a lot of us are working on autopilot. You know, a situation will come up and we have a knee-jerk reaction to it. You know, we react emotionally. And sometimes that emotion can be irrational. Sometimes it can be tied to past programming. Sometimes it could be just in that moment. We're having a tough day and this situation comes up, and so we have this, you know, this reaction, which is not maybe specifically related to the person or the situation that we're in. It's just that this is what's coming up at the time. So what I find that for us to be able to make a choice and to choose well how we want to respond and how we want to move forward, it's important that we detach ourselves emotionally from the situation. Look at it as the observer. Look at it as the, okay, well, if there's no emotion, if we take all the emotion out of this, and I'm looking at this for just the situation that it is, ideally, how do I want to react to this? Or how do I want to respond? Or how do I want to make certain choices rather than just responding or reacting emotionally? You know, for example, when you, I know that when it comes to anything to do with relationships or family, for example, you know, no one knows how to push your buttons like family, right? But when you can, in the moment, stop yourself for a moment, take a breath, and then rather than having the usual response, and especially when we're thinking about family, I mean, how often do we have the same conversation or the same arguments or the same, you know, angst that we've been having for years with our family, because we're just in a program and we're rote and we're not, you know, being conscious about how we want to respond to it. And so when you can take a breath, that gives you enough time to center, so then you can logically think, well, how do I want to respond to this? And if I'm responding from love and I want to respond in a way that's going to be empowering to both of us, how will I change the way that I normally react to this? And that will actually really help to open that up for you. So try that as well, okay? The second one is meditation and physical energy, so physical activity. So, you know, we've talked about this many times, meditation, physical activity. And what's really interesting is you can actually combine the two of them together. You know, I was on a phone call with a group in Australia the other day, and while I was waiting for one of the guys to arrive for the meeting, this was in Melbourne, I was talking to them through Zoom or through Skype. The woman who was on the call with me said, "So what have you done in service for yourself today?" I'm like, what a great question. I said, well, to be honest with you, I was able to get up, I was able to do my meditation first thing this morning, and I was able to exercise. And if they are at least the two things I do every morning to set up the foundation for the day, I am one happy camper. I know that I can actually move through my day with so much more consciousness and so much more purpose. And I seem to have so much more control. I seem to be way more calmer. I mean, there are so many studies that show us how important and how beneficial physical activity and meditation can be. But what if you were to combine the two? You know, have you thought about maybe going for a walk in nature and using that as your meditation? You know, when I used to run in the mornings, I used to go out for a run, you know, and when I lived in Sydney, it was so gorgeous because, you know, Sydney's on the east coast, so we see the sun come up over the water. That was like my morning meditation. I would be able to get to a centered place, and because of the repetitiveness of the running, I could be able to calm my mind, and that was also a time, because I was able to do that, to be able to get the insight and some fantastic ideas at that time, because I've got endorphins racing through my body as well. So it was a perfect storm. But you could just be in an environment that's inspiring to you. You don't necessarily have to have your eyes closed, and be there and just be still and be quiet with your thoughts, and use that as a meditation as well. Or any kind of mindful activity, I think, was also really fantastic for that too. So think about, you know, incorporating meditation and physical activity in your day as a daily practice, and the way that, and especially in the morning, so you can set up an amazing foundation for the rest of your day. Now, number 4, the tip number 4 that I'm recommending for you today is to practice gratitude. Now, I know if you're part of the My Movies community, you've heard me many times talking about keeping a gratitude journal, writing down 5 new things every single day, making sure at least 2 of those things are connected and related to whatever goal or whatever life area you're working on at the time. You know, if you're in a relationship, you know, have a couple of them in relation to your partner and share them with them every day to really help to expand, you know, the energy and the love between the two of you. So using gratitude in that way. But also, you know, have a practice where even if you're not writing down these 5 things every day, that you have a trigger or some kind of activity that you know that when you're doing it will actually help to put you in a state of gratitude. You know, there are two things that I do that really put me in that state, that are an anchor for that. You know, one is when I take my puppy Bella out for her wee walk in the morning. You know, I'm walking along the marina, I'm walking outside. I live in LA, California, so the sun is pretty much always shining. And that's an easy time for me. That's my trigger to start going into my gratitudes. And not gratitude just for what happened the day before or what's already happened that morning, but what's about to come. And opening up space of expectation and belief by being grateful for things that are on their way to me. The other thing is when I'm in my car. You know, I got back from a trip just recently, and I got back at like midnight the night before, and then the next night I'm driving to San Diego. And I was saying to a girlfriend, I said, it wasn't that I had to drive to San Diego, but I get to drive to San Diego. I have a really nice car. I have a fantastic stereo. It was playing amazing music. And it was at the time where the sun's coming down. And so it's amazing to me how I can be driving the same road like hundreds of times, but it can be completely different every time I do it. You know, and when you're doing it when that sun is setting, and the beautiful color of the sky and the sun and the music and everything, I mean, that is my time for absolute gratitude. So I love to do that as well. So pick a couple of activities. So it's like stop, drop, and be grateful. And so I know that when I'm walking or driving the car, that's when I do that, you know. So speaking about gratitude, I actually want to, you know, again, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day to all our American community. But I want to thank you, and I'm so grateful for you to be part of our community. You know, it's not just that, you know, I get to share this information with you, but the fact that you share your comments and your feedback back with us. And so it really is inspiring to both myself and the entire team when you get to share your stories and how this information is really helping you to, you know, improve your life and your relationships and everything that you have. So I want to offer a gift for you today. The gift is called the introspection process. Now, this is a small process that you can click the link below this video. It only takes a few minutes. But it really helps you to identify what is possibly blocking you from moving forward. You know, if there are certain areas of life that you've been working on, but you haven't quite broken through yet, by taking the introspection process, it can really help you to identify what that is. You'll also be getting a copy of a PDF, which is called My Favorite Morning Rituals, which includes obviously meditation, exercise, and there's several other ones in there as well. Some that you normally don't find in other places, but when you can incorporate these as a daily practice, like I said, it really sets you up for an amazing day, which turns into an amazing week, which turns into an amazing year. So whatever you're doing today, I hope that you, like I said before, you're surrounded by the people that you love, that you're having an amazing time. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video and to enjoy the blog. And I will look forward to speaking to you again soon. Okay, bye for now.